He's in the green room right now. We're going to bring you on in a few minutes. Okay, Joey? I'm sure he could hear us out. Okay. Yeah. You'd be amazed when have you ever seen someone try to jump rope that couldn't jump rope? It's like, it's
It
kind of
looks crazy.
shocking. It looks crazy because it's like, since you're used to doing it, you don't think it's that difficult, but it's a lot more coordination than most people give it. You know, think about boxers. Boxers do it for their legs and for all the speeds and stuff. And I used to do it quite a bit for the feet, but I think it's the best thing. And when I was coaching, AAU basketball, the big boys, I made them jump rope the most because you want their feet to be able to move fast. So let's get ready. Let's bring in
double dutch is big. Double dutch is big around here with the girls.
How many guys do double dutch?
No, I know who I used to remember seeing double dutch jump all the time.
I know.
Thea Rogers Bakers.
Yeah, no. Double dutch they're good. But usually girls do double dutch. Not too many guys jump into the double dutch. That's not easy, let me tell you. And I like when they know. Not only is that easy, I like when they dance inside the double dutch. You know what I mean? All right, let's bring on our friend and co-host, Mr. Joey Bag of Donuts. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, Joey.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Wow, we're always excited to bring you on. All right, so we got a few things to talk about today. It's postseason. A lot of things are happening. We have the draft coming up, but the biggest thing is happening is going to be free agency. So the first piece, obviously, we started off with NFC East stuff, but let's start off with Mr. Saquon Barkley. Byron, I know you have some strong opinions on that. Tell me what you think. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week. By the way, they brought up some of the similar teams we spoke about last week, the sports analysts on the shows. But I'll tell you what they said. Houston. They talked about Cowboys. They talked about Houston.
Philadelphia came up.
I didn't hear Philly, but I did hear Houston. I heard Atlanta. I had the Cowboys, but But they said
Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, but the latest that I heard, it could have been, I was trying to catch up just before the show. Some of them agreed with me, and I thought I was right, but they thought that the Houston would be one of the best fits for Saquon Barkley. He's already worked out with CJ Stroud. Again, we talked about the taxes. They got money. It's a good coach. It's a young coach. I mean, they did pretty good in the playoffs, more than most people expected. But I was asking you. Go ahead. You go.
I don't know. I don't understand with the I'm still got the running back by committee thing going on in my head. He's probably one of the biggest parts of their offense, probably the offense. And for them to basically, I ain't saying give the guy the farm, whatever, that, he turned down last year, he's probably not going to get nowhere near that. But it's just weird that, like the things I see with the Giants fans up here, talking about, good riddance, he should have, he's worthless. We'll just replace him, with, whatever. We'll draft a running back. We'll sign another running back. And it's just weird that, they went from, they love Saquon to now all of a sudden, they're beating him upside the head because, he's looking out for, his family, and his future. And, we've said this 1,000, and you said it 1,000 times. What better market it is than to be in the New York City market? There's nothing better. And, for him, he's got to just look out for himself.
Well, Santiago, our producer and the owner of Sportscast, make sure you get this clip. For you Giant fans out there that got a problem with Saquon Barkley, okay, come on our show. I dare you. Come on our show and make those comments on our show and make sure you have some logic and some intelligence behind it. Because the only reason for me to say to let Barkley go is because I feel bad for him because he's on a bad team. Outside of that, I don't want to lose Saquon Barkley. And that is how I feel. And I think come on my show, come on our show and dispute it. Byron, do you have any difference of opinion in that other than give him $12 billion? I mean, how much more is he going to get? He's not going to get Christian McCaffrey money, right? No. But he's going to get 12. He may, if he's lucky, maybe 14, whatever the deal is. But he ain't going to get much more than 12, right? If that, if he goes somewhere else, he's in a great city. And Saquon played great last year on a lousy team. So
Yeah.
I challenge you guys. I'd like to just talk, feel like you're smart, get around people that give you the same opinions and this and that. Come on our show and debate it. I challenge you. But you better bring some logic. Don't bring just your feelings. Go ahead, Byron.
But the crazy thing is, people want to take. They want to. Okay, the Detroit Lions took them 3 years to go from where they are now. So it took them 3 years. Giants are in the third year of whatever you want to call it. So now, basically, they want to get rid of Daniel Jones. He another quarterback, Saquon Barkley. You're talking about a young safety, McKinney. They're letting him walk. He's 24 years old, and it's basically so now they're going to start get rid of all these people, and then get another quarterback, JJ McCarthy maybe, and start over again. They're not going to give these guys forever, to fix it. It's crazy that we're the only team that can't fix offensive line, a revolving door quarterback, a revolving door, GM. And coaches, it's like a mess, and it's like a just continuation. It's just like 3 years up. Let's do it again. But it's just a mess.
Joey, I just wanted to make sure we get that clip so I can challenge the Giant fans that are out there that are talking smack. And because look, and Joey, I want to get your opinion. Just Byron, just lit me up because me down here, I don't hear all those fans, and I don't see it when they're on Facebook. But I'm gonna challenge you because everyone likes to hide about. You want to talk sports? Come on our show because at least we're objective. Look, Giants stink. Let's be clear, okay? But they don't stink because of the running back. They don't stink because of the quarterback, other than he's injured. They stink because their offensive line is terrible. They stink because their defense hasn't performed to the level they need to perform, and they need to be repaired. We've been saying that for 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to, it's the unsung heroes that they're not blaming. So when the team is winning, if the Giants are winning, right, and they're doing all great, and Saquon's doing great, and Daniel Jones is doing great, everybody's gonna love those two positions. Is that a fair statement, Joey and Byron?
Yep.
Okay, but then the unsung heroes is always the offensive line. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then. We don't have unsung heroes. They're just unsung. Fix the line. All right. Joey, give me your opinion on Saquon.
Okay. It is an unusual notion to spend all that money on a running back. That's usually what teams don't do. Most teams don't do that. They just, draft someone in the 4th, 5th round or something like that. But that's not what the Giants did. The Giants spent an early pick on Barkley, and he's good. And he's your team. Here's a problem with what the Giants did. They didn't have a backup plan. They didn't draft another running back or something like that. So they're stuck with Barkley. And if they don't, and the salary cap went up by $30 million. So they should, if Barkley wants a little bit more money, give him the money. He is the team. He's the team. This is a team that went to the playoffs a couple years ago, and because of Barkley. So let him have what he wants. This is the position the Giants put themselves in because they didn't have a backup plan. They don't have anybody unless they get someone like Derrick Henry or Jacobs or whoever is available as a free agent running back, and you're going to pay him a lot of money anyway. So just keep the guy you got. Now, if Barkley wants to leave because he doesn't want to be on this team anymore, that's understandable. But it is on the Giants because they never got a backup plan for him. So now they're stuck.
All indications from what I understand, Barkley wants to stay as a Giant, number one. And number two, like Byron and I were saying, your post-NFL career, Barkley's a likable guy. I mean, he's nice. He's humble. He doesn't get into trouble. You want post-career, look, I want him to get paid. Listen, but let's face it. If they give him $12 million, that's a good deal right now for running backs. That's not a bad deal. I can't imagine anyone is going to pay any running back more than McCaffrey at this point in time. Byron?
Nope, none of them. Nobody. Everybody's just fixated with the running back by committee thing. So it is what it is now.
So either he's going to get his $12 million and stay with the Giants, or he's going to go somewhere else and get $12 million. And if he does, the only reason I say I wish him the best, and it's not because I don't want him to go, because I want him to go, because I think he is a great representative of a Giants player. That's how I feel. And then the other thing is Joey, they also went to the playoffs because of the quarterback. Daniel Jones also played well that year. They went to the playoffs. So those are the two positions Byron's saying that everybody wants to get rid of. Dude, you want to start all over again? Now, look, my only concern with Daniel Jones, okay, is his health, right? I'll be totally honest. I'm trying to get rid of this background today. I don't like this background. It's his health, right? If virtual background. And that's it, because he's got a neck injury, and that makes me nervous. Do you agree?
2 neck injuries.
He's got two. Yeah, he's got 2 neck injuries. Neck injuries make me nervous. Outside of that, you're paying him $90 million, but you're not paying him $300 million like these other guys are getting. So, I'm just saying, Joey, they want to get rid of those 2 positions. You said the cap got raised by $30 million. Spend it on offensive lines and stop getting tackles that play the same position, like Byron says, to make them play a different position. Byron, we keep drafting left tackles to put them to the right tackle,
and it doesn't work, and has not worked.
It's not working, right?
Yeah,
Our
but the crazy thing. But the crazy thing is, Evan Neal's best position in college was left guard. Everybody says that. Left guard. He played, left tackle, his last year at Alabama or whatever. So they figure, all right, he played left tackle so we can switch him over to right tackle. And he's been god awful. He's terrible. He's huge. He's just not fast enough to play on the edge like that. It's not happening. And whose fault is that? Scattering department, offensive line coach that should identify this stuff as soon as they got, before they even drafted the guy. But it is what it is.
Well, we'll see what happens. Again, I wish Barkley nothing but the best. I've enjoyed his play. I've enjoyed. Barkley has had some injury problems in his career, but he's on a really bad team, and he didn't get injured last year. And he put up some numbers. He had a good year last year, right? And it wasn't because of them losing. There was times a kicker. Think about it. We lost games on specialty teams, Byron. Right? Our defense started getting better towards the end of the year, right? So it is difficult to keep seeing an organization that I love continue to just poor management. It's just they're running that organization into the ground, and we got into the playoffs. We got lucky or whatever it was. We had a good season, but they just looked just awful. So Saquon Barkley, I wish him the best. Again, wherever he goes, I do think that Houston's probably the best place for him.
As long as it's not Dallas or Philadelphia.
Yeah, that I can't imagine.
That would hurt.
Yeah,
Barkley in a Cowboys uniform. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's worse than a Philadelphia Eagle uniform.
I don't think any of that's going to happen at all. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I don't think. Yeah, I think the Eagles have a problem. I get it, but I think the Eagles got problems, man. Something's wrong.
He's a Pennsylvania kid, man. He's a Pennsylvania. I wouldn't be surprised, man, that he went to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's from that area. I think he played at Whitehall Township, right outside of Philadelphia, man. I would not be surprised.
Come home.
Then that's when ownership of the Giants should start firing a ton of the executive management team. If that happens, because you messed up. You should have tagged them. You should have kept them. You should do whatever you had to do, but don't let him go to a division rival, and he's going to eat you up. You put
twice a year behind that line.
I think he's got a better chance of making the playoffs and going deeper with Houston than with Philly or Dallas. That's just my opinion. So, all right, let's move on. Anybody got anything else on that? Let's move on. Let's move on Saquon. We got him here. All right. The guy that I said, remember I said this several weeks ago, Russell Wilson, they're going to trade him. And I thought he was already traded Atlanta. They go, oh, no, that was false. He's gone. They cut him. Not only did they cut him, this is probably, from what I've been studying, this may be the first time in history that a team is willing to take an $85 million cap hit
to
get rid of it.
Not that high.
To get rid of it. Well, I'm talking about that high. To get rid of it.
Yeah,
This guy's he is literally Russell Wilson is in the best position possible. The team that picks him up is in the best position possible. They could pay him the veterans minimum of like $35 million, I think it is, right? And he's still going to make
by the season.
Yeah,
it might be like $2 or $3 million a year. That's it.
Oh, okay. They can pay him the minimum, right? And he's still going to make close to $300 million.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, so now
he's visiting Pittsburgh.
My question to you guys is: one, I mentioned, I called it, and then let's talk about the pieces. Let's talk about where he's going. All right, what are your thoughts? Where would you like to see him go, Joey? Let's give you a chance.
Okay, so there was news today that he's going to be visiting the Steelers. So it's a possibility. Now, the thing about Russell Wilson is that he said that he wants to be a starter in the league. And you look around the leagues, like who has an available starting position? There's a few teams. Yeah, there's Atlanta. There's other teams. Pittsburgh is one of them. He probably looks at Pittsburgh and says, "You mean all I have to beat out is Kenny Pickett for a starting job?" He could do that in his sleep. But where I would like to see him go is the Raiders. Because I think it would be hilarious if he was the quarterback of the Raiders and they played the Broncos twice every year and he beat the Broncos while the Broncos were paying him all that money. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
For funny purposes, maybe. I just think that conference, I don't think it's a good. I think that if he goes to the Raiders, Sean Payton's going to look like a genius. Okay. That's the problem, right? And because that division, you're still competing against. Now you got Jim Harbaugh with a bona fide franchise quarterback because Herbert is still better than Russell Wilson. Okay. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. There's nobody in the league better than him. Why am I going to stay in a conference where I'm at least just the third best quarterback, right? Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Pittsburgh's division is tough too, but you're going to if Pittsburgh wants him, that means Tomlin wants him. Tomlin's a player's coach, right? He hasn't had a losing season, and they have a phenomenal defense. Their offense has just been terrible.
Yeah. And what do they need?
And they need a quarterback.
Russell Wilson.
Right. That's a good fit for him. I think Tomlin can coach him. I don't like what Sean Payton did to him. You know what's funny? It's real quick. I have to throw off of this. My wife was like making comments about what happened with Kelsey and Andy Reid, and they don't understand the passion. And Andy Reid didn't take it; he just got caught off, and so forth. And I'm saying to myself, I'm like, look, I forgot my thought. I was bringing it up. I was bringing what happened between those two, right? She didn't like that. I go, okay, let me show you a picture of what Sean Payton did to Russell Wilson, an MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah.
Should have won two on TV. And they're saying that he just didn't like the guy, like purely didn't like. Sean Payton better prove himself because, for what they're paying him and for what he's accomplished and what he did to Russell Wilson. And then what he said about a coach. I mean, Sean Payton has done some pretty bad things, man. I used to like Sean Payton. I'm not, unless he wins or he does something that surprises me, I'm a little thrown off. what he said about the former coach, what he did to Russell Wilson, how he publicly displayed Russell Wilson, and then just they're saying they just dislike dislike the guy. Just dislike a player, man. You're a coach, you can't, I don't know. Byron, any thoughts on that?
No, I think he'd be a good fit, with Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett, even if just temporary, to get Kenny Pickett on the right track because he is a Jersey guy. I want to see him succeed. But it might be better for him, to sit a year or two, like Russell, rights the boat, and then hand the reins back over to, Kenny Pickett because he is a first round pick. And see what the kid, he does have talent, but just maybe they rushed him in too early. Some of the pieces weren't right. But Russell Wilson, put him in there a couple years, hand off to Kenny Pickett, and he runs with it from there.
Joey?
Russell Wilson's stats last year, and this is, remember, they took the last couple games because they didn't want to pay him or whatever. His 3,070 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That is not bad quarterback play. That is above average. Any team would enjoy that. The Steelers did not get anywhere near that last year, so they would love a quarterback that put up those kind of numbers. So yeah, bring it. I'd be okay with Russell Wilson for a year or two.
And imagine playing under the pressure of a coach that dislikes you.
Yeah.
Because if the rumors are true that Sean Payton dislikes him, he had to endure that during the entire season and still put up those numbers. You understand? Because you don't just dislike me for a minute. You either just dislike me or not. You had no choice. I found out just the other day, they tried to remove his injury clause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to do everything possibly they could to this young man. And like I said, look, Byron and I called it. When he went to Denver, we didn't think that was a good move because you went into a conference with Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. That's a tough conference. And Patrick Mahomes, they're dangerous. You said they're picking up they're trying to get Justin Jefferson last week, right? I mean, and they were terrible during the regular season. Oh, not anymore? Okay. No. So we'll get into some of that. But Russell Wilson, I wish him the best. I just didn't think it was a good place for Denver. I know John was happy with it, but it was just you got some tough competition now. Now that you got the greatest coach of all time, Brandon Staley, out of there. Right, Joey? Me and you had a nice rant. Me and you had a nice
our favorite coach.
No, now they're looking at him as defensive coordinator for the 49ers. I mean, are you crazy?
No, he's the assistant head coach. They promoted one of the guys that was already on the staff to DC. But he's on the staff. He's the assistant head coach.
To where?
49ers.
49ers.
Well, they're just done. They're finished. Goodbye. I am no longer on the 49ers bandwagon. I don't care. I still, the Bosa family, love the Bosa family. I love Brock Purdy, but I'm done. That guy. I don't mind them getting a job. I'm not ever looking for someone not getting a job. I don't even mind him getting a defensive coordinator position technically because I think he did a terrible job at San Diego, but I didn't want him to go to San Francisco because I'm still on the bandwagon of that defensive coordinator had no reason to be fired. Zero.
He got fired anyway.
There was just no justification for that. So anyhow, done with that. I think Russell Wilson would be good there. I think Atlanta would be good for him as well. I just think the more I think about it as we're talking, I think Pittsburgh is probably one of the best fits for him. He's got under a great coach that you're going to have a winning season, right? And they're an offense away from going into the playoffs.
Yeah, the Steelers just hired an offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, who was the old coach of Atlanta. And the thing about Arthur Smith, before he was with Atlanta, he was with Tennessee. And Tennessee, what is Tennessee known for? That ground and pound, that heavy rushing attack. And that's what he wants. That's what he wants. That's what they want the Steelers to do. Be a heavy rushing team. Just like when Russell Wilson was with Seattle, and they were just giving it the beast mode all the time. And Russell Wilson still did his thing, but still, it was a rushing attack. That's what they wanted in Pittsburgh. And so Russell Wilson would kind of be perfect for that because it's not like he has to like carry the entire team. He just has to move the offense along and just progress the offense and just be okay, just not be horrible. So yeah, I think it would be a good fit.
It would be a great fit. Think about it. Get
a game manager.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he needs to be.
That's all he needs.
You're right, but he's a playmaker too. I mean, you know, he's more than he could be way more than a game manager. Number one, Russell Wilson has that ability in him. I think Tom will have him. And remember, last year, it was like Pittsburgh was terrible until the fourth quarter. Their defense kept them in. Most of the games they were winning was in the fourth quarter. You had to worry about the fourth quarter against them, right? Russell Wilson doesn't wait till the fourth quarter to start putting up points, right? And I just think if it was me, and if all those rumors about Peyton and him during the season, I think Tomlin would be the best coach. I would rather go to feel loved. Because if Tomlin wants you, his players love him. Now, you don't ever hear a player badmouthing Tomlin.
Right.
And how many years has he been head coach? A long
17.
time. A long
17 years.
17 years, and you don't hear. I don't have ever heard anybody. And when he's on the side, he still looks as young as when he started.
He was young when he started. He was only like 34 years old. So he's only like 51.
He was the youngest coach when he got hired. Now there's a couple of coaches who are younger, but he was one of the youngest coaches. And I mean, look, I think that would be good for Russell Wilson's esteem. I think it's good enough for him. It's close to New York, Byron, like you're always saying. For his wife.
It ain't that close.
It ain't that far either, though. It's a lot closer than Denver.
It ain't that close.
A lot closer than Denver. A lot closer to Denver. You're in the same time zone, aren't you? Right? Yeah, Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania, so it's the same time zone. All right. So look, I got up here. I also got listed up here. Unless you want to add anything else to that, I got listed up here the free agent quarterbacks. Okay, Kirk Cousins is a free agent. I like him, man. What do you think? Tore his Achilles. He had his best year. And remember, I wasn't too much about Kirk Cousins, but I liked him.
What does he do? What is he known for?
I saw some documentary on him and stuff. I started liking him. He's had a good year.
He puts up big numbers, and what has he done? Nothing.
But it's the Vikings. The Vikings are always.
Yeah, but he puts up big numbers and he gets big contracts. That's the two things he's known for.
He'll end up in Atlanta.
That would be a good. That'll be dangerous. That's a good place for him.
His wife is from Atlanta. Just remember that.
That's a good place for man. He's 36. I thought he was younger. No wonder I always didn't have. All right, and then you have Jacoby Brissett. I'm just going to skip that one. You got Baker Mayfield. Okay, I'm surprised he doesn't stay. He would stay at Tampa. You got Ryan Tannehill.
No, they offer Baker like what I think they said 5 years, $100 million, and they're like comes out to like $20 million a year, and he wants double that. He wants 5 years. He wants 5 years, $200 million. He wants $40 million a year.
Yeah.
They're like, nah.
That's the going rate for a quarterback. Look at Danny Dimes. You got to get at least 40 million.
You got to get at least 40.
Yeah. That's it. Don't lowball him.
Yeah. So but Baker Mayfield he's only 29. Oh my God. It feels like he's been in the league forever. He's only 29, but I don't know.
35 teams.
He what?
Been with 35 teams already.
But I think he should I don't know. I think he should stay with Tampa. I don't know where there's I don't know where he would do better. He's got great receivers there.
Top 10 quarterback last year. Top 10 in yards and touchdowns. 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns.
Remember, but he had a great receiving crew.
And they re-signed Mike Evans. He re-signed with Tampa. Big money.
They made it work.
They got a great receiving crew. I mean, they got a great receiving crew. Ryan Tannehill, is available. I don't know where he'd go. Not worried about that one.
Back
Russell
up.
Wilson, we talked
Back up in
about him.
Pittsburgh.
Jameson Winston is still around. Jameson Winston's
Who?
only 30. Jameis.
Yeah,
Jameis Winston. He's only 30. Jeez. Still got
seems
more
like he been playing
talent.
forever.
He does. He's a big guy. He'd be a good backup somewhere. I don't know if he'd be a starter. I'm not going to go. Tyrod Taylor. You want to sign him, don't you?
Come back home. Come back.
Yeah.
Because Danny's not going to be ready at the beginning of the year. With the ACL, I don't think he's going to be ready. They're saying he might. I don't think he's going to be ready to start the season. So Tyrod Taylor would be the best, pick.
All right, look at the stacking of running backs that are available, though. Saquon, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs was only 26. Derrick Henry's 30. Yeah, Josh Jacobs. Saquon's only 27. Saquon seems like he's been around for a long time. He's still young. 26.
Henry's 30.
Henry's 30. Tony Pollard's 27. He's available. DeAndre Swift is available. I like him. Austin Eckler is available. J.K. Dobbins, Devin Singletary. So those are the running backs that are available. So look at that. There's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. That's 8. 8 running backs available, and that's not counting what's coming out of the draft. Receivers from the Jaguars, Calvin Ridley. He's a pretty good receiver.
He dropped a lot of passes too.
Okay, you got Marquise Brown, Gabe Davis. Stop me when you want to talk about Curtis Samuel, Darrell Mooney, KJ Osborne. Odell Beckham's still available. Odell's 31.
Ugh. Come home, Odell. Come home. OBJ, come to the Giants.
Nah,
Reach,
pass on
come
that.
home.
I'll tell Tyler Boyd.
Gabe Davis from I think it's Buffalo.
Yes.
You don't want him.
Yeah.
But you know who is
Minus
available? Michael Thomas, man.
Yeah, he just got released. Yeah, he's done. He's always hurt.
He's
He's
old.
30, he's 31.
old and hurt, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
All right,
always
tight end. Tell me when you want me to stop. Tight ends, Hunter Henry. I don't know. Noah Fant.
No
That's
offense.
it. Yeah. Okay, here's the offensive tackles that are.
Wait a minute. Wait. Darren Waller is undecided if he's going to play or not, right? They were talking about that up here. That he's, I might retire. I might, dude, make up your mind so they can, make up some plans. But he's thinking about retiring. Waller. I had him 1 year.
All right, Byron, here's your chance. Here's the offensive tackles that are available. One of the most underpaid players in the NFL last season, Tyron Smith.
No. Hurt all the time.
Trent Brown, looks like from the Patriots.
He's huge, man. He is a beast. But
okay, well, he's available. Jonah Williams, he's only 26. He's a right tackle.
Right tackle.
Right tackle.
From Alabama.
Okay, Jermaine, I'm not even going to try to put Elu Munior. Who's young. He's only 29. He started the last few seasons, major problems, got bumped in the rankings, flexible, British born. I don't know. Yash Nijman from the Packers.
No.
Josh Jones, he's 27. Andres Pete. Donovan Smith. It looks like he was with Kansas City.
Yeah, that's the one that was holding all the time. Yeah, he's a
whole.
Yeah,
he's 30.
Yeah,
he's 31.
Or false starts.
That too.
Now, interior offensive line, Mike. I wouldn't mind this guy. He's 26. Mike Onua.
There you go. From where, the Raiders? I think.
No, it looks like from the Patriots.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, him. That's the guy.
Patriots. He's 26. I'd like him. He's a right tackle.
Well, they say he can play inside and outside. He can play either or.
Mm-hmm. And then you got
so
Robert
put him
Hunt.
at right tackle. Take Evan Neal, put him at left guard where he belongs, and flex it that way.
Most of these linemen, I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. Jonah Jackson. Wow, this is
Jonah
like
Jackson.
11. There's a
Jonah
lot.
Jackson is a pick.
There's a
Jonah
lot. There's
Jackson.
a Jonah Jackson. Yeah.
From Detroit, I think.
I can't tell his uniform. It looks like he's from the Chargers, but I can't tell. If I get here, let me click on him. I'll tell you right now.
I got a couple quarterbacks that'll be available not in free agency but in trade. You got Justin Fields of Chicago and probably Mac Jones of the Patriots.
Oh, I was gonna get to. I didn't get to. Yeah,
Mac
I
Jones.
think.
Who is that? Who's that guy?
He was with the Patriots.
Oh, Jonah Jackson with the
Man.
Detroit Lions, with the Lions, Brian.
Yeah, he's a good pick, so he'd be a good pickup.
All right.
But yeah, Mac Jones, his career sort of fell off the wagon.
Well,
All right.
there's some lousy coaches up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
he
got
proved that.
look at the edge rushers that are available: Daniel Hunter, Jonathan Grenard, Brian Huff, Chase Young is a free agent, Zadarius Smith, Van Ginkel. Van Ginkel's is only 29. I like Van Ginkel.
Coming up injury now.
Devani Clowney, he's good too.
Clowney,
Okay, Marcus.
You don't want
Davenport.
Chase Young. That's all I know.
No.
No.
That guy has disappointment. That guy has bust written all over him.
He did okay in the playoffs, though. He should come play. Defense. Look at Chris Jones to play. Okay, but if it would have cost the Chiefs approximately $32 million to place the franchise tag on Jones, which is why the option always seems so unlikely. Arguably the greatest playoff defensive player of his generation might actually change teams. That would be terrible. Chris Jones is a free agent. Christian Wilkins, Leonard Williams.
Hey, he can come back home because we do need a D tackle. He can come back, Leonard. Come on back. Take some of that pressure off of Big Sexy. Come back.
Trying to go here. Okay.
Hopefully he doesn't sell his house in New Jersey.
Aziz Al-Shair is available from the 49ers. Willie Gay Jr.
Man.
Let's go. I'm trying to go quick. Cornerbacks. All right, so we don't really. I guess the biggest topics we have were. So let's get to the safeties. Xavier McKinney, which is one that we're concerned. I don't believe they're not signing this kid. He's young.
24,
25. So here's a story I want to just bring up to you guys. I'm not even bother with specialty teams. Get the latest news is that NFL is making it clear that no longer worth the money, that safeties are no longer worth the money, that they are becoming the defensive equivalent of running backs as a mark. What are your thoughts?
Look at that list you just gave. Look at the running backs that are available. A lot of great ones. Look at the safeties. There's a lot of good safeties available. No, you don't see too many offensive tackles. You don't see too many quarterbacks available. You don't see too many wide receivers. Those are the positions that like are just devalued for some reason. Running backs and safeties, it's like they don't matter. They're being devalued for whatever reason. Supply and demand, I don't know, but that's just how it is right now.
Byron?
Yeah, because Denver just got rid of Justin Simmons, all-pro safety. Him, the Buffalo Bills cut everybody at the back end.
Yeah.
All Poyer, Hines, all those guys. It was like 3 or 4 of them that got released with Buffalo yesterday. So yeah, something's going on where all of a sudden you know they just all these safeties are you know what can't afford. You know what can't afford you. Matter of fact, we can't afford none of you. Get out. And I think the Buffalo Bills situation, as far as the salary cap, might be a little jacked up or whatever. But how are you going to replace? Not replace, but how are you going to get rid of your whole starting defensive backfield, all of them, out?
Well, here I'm going to read something to you here. More than $103 million across the league has been saved in 2024 at salary at the safety position, right? That's far more than any position group, outpacing the cornerback salary shed of 40 million. So by them releasing safeties and just cutting that out, $103 million has been saved across the league. That's some serious money. And what do you think? What do you think? Well, that's a good question to discuss here. Me being a safety, well, I was a defensive back. I could play at either position. I just like the safety back in my day because, I was able to play. You were in the game all the time. You know what I mean? Like you could hit, I could tackle, I could get the ball. But where do you think if they're being devalued, right? What do you think is going to just be playing a lot more cornerbacks and two-man coverage, Byron? What do you think?
No, because you figure, the way, when they go 3 wide or 4 wide, these guys got to be able to come down, to cover, that receiver. So now you don't want the traditional safety, but you want the guy that's more like a cornerback to be able to cover, these receivers. And that's, part of the problem. So now, so now in college or whatever, you're looking at these guys, well, you know what, we'll bring him up as a corner and, we'll move him to safety, later on in his career, but they have to be able to do both. And that's, you have to be able to tackle, you have to be able to cover, you have to be able to do all that stuff. But now they're moving toward more like a cornerback safety combo, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is what I was asking is that they're pretty much going to go more with cornerbacks because they're a lot of times teams are coming out with empty backfields, so you got a lot of receivers to cover, right? The only concern I have though, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, the tight end position is starting to get better. And usually cornerbacks aren't that big. They're not, what's his name? Patrick Surtain Jr. He's a big corner. Right. But a lot of corners aren't big. And those little corners can't cover tight ends.
Yeah, but look at the size of somebody like the guy for the Jets. He's about 6'2". Surtain is pretty tall. The kid Horn.
Rodriguez from for the Patriots?
Gardner?
No, the guy played for Oregon. Christian something.
Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's a 6'2".
He's 6'2". He's a 6'2" corner.
Yeah. Now look at all these corner, like the ones that are coming out now. The kid from Toledo is at least 6'2". So all these kids are just bigger now. So for them to be able to have to cover those tight ends, you need a bigger corner to cover those tight ends.
Yeah. You got to be a bigger. Yeah, you can't be your regular, cornerback. Since there was a time where cornerbacks could get away at 5'9", 5'11", with no problem. I think that you still can have great corners at that size, but if you're going to start adding more corners because you're going to have less safeties, you need bigger corners because they got to cover the tight ends. There's no way a 5'10" defensive back is going to consistently be able to cover the tight ends that are coming out now because these tight ends they're big. I mean, look at even Debo. Debo's not a tight end.
They're
He's
big and fast. Yeah.
Evan Williams is big. I mean, these guys are big guys and fast, right? So you better have a 40-inch vertical.
that great big tight end that Pittsburgh has. Was it Washington?
Darnell Washington, yeah. He's basically a giant of a man, yeah.
So if I was a college player, I think I would, and I was a receiver, I would start moving over into the cornerback position because there's a lot more receivers, I think, than there are cornerbacks.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot. A lot of cornerbacks are converted wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Sherman.
Oh yeah,
Sherman was from Stanford.
He was.
Yeah.
You mean he was a receiver converted to a cornerback?
Yeah, he's a corner. Well, he's a receiver at Stanford. Then they switched him to cornerback at Stanford.
Right. And Joey said the opposite, though. Joey said
They were
there was
close.
No, wide receivers become cornerbacks. Cornerbacks don't become wide receivers because
Oh, I thought that's what you said. Then I heard it wrong.
No, sorry. No, no. Cornerbacks can't become wide receivers because cornerbacks, even if they want to be a receiver, there's that little part of catching the ball. Usually, cornerbacks can't catch the ball, and that's why they become quarterbacks.
Oh, Joey,
Quarterbacks
be
are
quiet.
just failed wide receivers.
You're talking about Victor right now. I'm
Well,
just
first of
conscious
all-
right now. You're talking
First of
about
all,
Victor right now.
I was a free safety, but I was a free safety
Oh,
that could
no.
play corner. I was a free safety that could play corner, right?
But you
The
could
problem
not
problem
play
is,
wide receiver.
and I could play wide. That was a real good. I should have played wide receiver. Is what I should have did. I had 20 picks, bro. So come on. The problem that I had was when
they
it
actually have.
interceptions, 20.
How many hit your hand that bounced off?
Maybe 3. Maybe 3 max.
Okay.
There was one that was sure-handed that I should. I'll give you one. We were playing against Kane, right? And they already taken me out. We were beating them pretty good, and I was going for the record. I wanted to get the record, so I needed one interception. So I said, Coach, the record's coming up this year, so I wanted to beat the record, right? And I go, look, we're ahead. They got to throw, so come on, just give me a shot. Give me the game. So Coach Capral puts me in the game, and sure enough, Byron, like I said, maybe I wasn't as physical, had the gifted abilities of some of the other athletes, but I was smart. I was fast, but I was smart. Read the play, got the play, ball coming right to me, eyes wide open. Put my little triangle high. The ball comes right into my hands. I'm like, I got it. I go to bring it down. I'm so excited. I go to bring it down so fast. Guess what happens?
You dropped it.
I didn't drop it. I threw it down.
Oh no!
So I guess I
spiked
dropped. I did drop it, but I dropped it because I was so excited. I was trying to tuck it so fast. And when you have it here in the corner, and you're bringing it down, you better secure it that it comes in. Oh my God! It was the one that would have broke the record. That one was in the beginning of the season, and I didn't break the record because the record I think was 8 interceptions in a year. I tied it for 7. But it was 8 for the year, and then 21 would have put me in the top 5 of all interceptions in the entire division, in where I played. But anyways, I didn't drop a lot, but quarterbacks could catch. I mean, I just think you got to remember. I think quarterbacks in the past, well, one that had Stickum, they were better catchers. They could catch the ball better. But I think today, because of the way the rules are, they're more focused on look at Deion Sanders. You can't say Deion Sanders couldn't catch. He threw the ball in his air. He's getting the ball. Deion Sanders can catch. All right. That's why he played receiver as well. Okay. Rod Woodson could catch, played wide receiver. Okay. But the deal is that in today's thing, man, these guys, I think it's more about making sure that they don't touch the guy, they don't hit the guy wrong. They're just trying not to make the guy hit the pass. You know what I mean? And so we'll see what happens. But I think if you're a receiver in college, right, and you're tall, cornerback's probably a good place to start thinking about. That's it.
Yeah.
Because now you can catch, you can play the field. What I didn't like about playing cornerback is that if you're good, right, this is where Deion Sanders was smart. Where John always say he played it like a safety. And I disagreed with him, but now I kind of understand. I agree with him because Deion Sanders was smart. Because when you're a shutdown corner, you feel like you're not in the game anymore.
The Revis Island.
They avoid you. You're,
Yeah,
if you're
and-
too good, they avoid. They don't
Well-
throw to that receiver because they know you're too good of a you cover. It's like it's like you're totally out of the game.
So all you're doing is running with a receiver and coming back to the huddle. Running with the receiver, coming back to the huddle. Getting a couple tips and getting back to the huddle. What made Deion Sanders so smart was like, screw that. I'm going to shut you down, but I'm going to play off of you so I can get the ball when you go to throw somewhere else. You know what I mean? So he would play on you, but then he would lay off on you because he was so fast, he can catch you. Right? I didn't have fortune. I had to stay on you. I didn't run a 4.2. Right?
You didn't?
Yeah, no, man.
Okay.
I wish I was stretching maybe a 4.6. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think, but it's just interesting how the safety market, that surprised me. I looked that up today, how a safety market is now transitioning to just like the running backs. The difference is you can't play safety by
collusion.
Yeah, you can't play safety by committee though.
No, you can't.
No.
But you can go cheaper.
You can go cheaper in the safeties, yeah. And I think it's to the point where you get, the receivers are getting bigger, they're getting faster, right? And safeties, a lot of times safeties didn't have to be as fast, right? And with the kind of linebackers and linemen that are coming up, I don't think you see a lot of safeties leading in tackles like you would see in the past. Is that a fair statement?
Yep.
Because in the past they would lead in tackles just because everyone was doing their job and they'd be able to come up and lay a hit. Like John Lynch, go look at John Lynch's stats. I mean, he had a lot of tackles. Who was the other guy? The guy I met in Atlanta who played for Denver. Who was the free safety for Denver a long time ago?
Atwater.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! I met him
The
in
assassin.
person. Byron,
He-
listen to me.
He's big dude. He's a big guy. I saw him in Arkansas.
Byron, I met him in person, and let me tell you something. As a fellow defensive back, that dude was just big, solid. I think he had muscles on his ears. I mean, he was just like a brick. I could not. And then he ran like a 4.4, 4.3. I mean, I could not imagine. And he liked to hit because there's safeties that want to get the ball. That dude, he was so impressive. And when you saw him, you would not think he was a defensive back.
I was like Joey Browner when I was up in Minnesota. Him too. He was big. He was a big dude too, man. He was like, man, you play safety? Good grief.
And think about it. Byron's big, Joey. Byron's 6'6", 290, 300. To say a defensive back, I always give you love, Byron. To say a safety is big means he's big. Coming from a big guy, guy to say a big guy. Me, I'm only 6 foot. So for me to say someone's big, but look at Steve Atwater, man, that was the most impressive. He's not the most impressive. There was a linebacker I saw in the airport that played for Washington. I forgot what his name, but he was really, really good a long time ago. My God, that guy was, dude, he was just totally, muscles just bulging out as he was carrying luggage. It was crazy. So we'll see what happens. But again, with the rules that are in play, you need speed receivers that are going. Again, I'm going to go back to the Kansas City game. You got to agree that defensive back play was just perfect in the first half.
Yep.
Turning their head, playing the ball. How is it they're doing stuff that we were taught a long time ago? And there's no way there's any way to teach that any better than turning your head. So, Joey, how do you see the draft going? What do you think Pittsburgh's going to do? What are you guys in need of besides, maybe possibly Russell Wilson?
They are in need of a center, in need of a tackle, defensive line help, and cornerback. But it sounds like this is a very deep draft or very good draft for offensive tackle. So I'm guessing that's where they're going to go. They have the 20th pick.
They got the 20th pick. Byron, where do you think we're going to be picking? Let's not get a left tackle.
You kind of need a left tackle. You need a right tackle.
We need a right tackle. We don't need a left tackle.
Yeah, but you can't draft a right tackle number 6. unless he's bona fide Hall of Fame, blah blah blah, whatever kind of guy. Right, that's too high to take a guy that's strictly going to play right tackle. You can, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't
You
waste.
got to receive. It's a waste. If anything, move down a little bit and then pick that tackle. If that's the one you want. But if they stay at 6, they should pick a receiver. Either a kid from Washington or the one from LSU, Neighbors, or if
Neighbors,
if God forbid if Marvin Harrison Jr. Falls to 6, they should just sprint up to the podium to get that guy. But I don't think he's going to fall that far to 6. If he falls, you got to get him.
What do you think about trying to leverage your 6th round pick for multiple lower round picks to try to get some linemen?
That'll work. But you
could
don't want
do
like
that.
if you're 6, you don't want to drop below 10. You want to just drop a little bit. Whoever wants that quarterback or whatever to move, you don't want to move too far down.
When are you going to have a chance to get an elite wide receiver, though? That's the thing. Why would you give that up? Either if Neighbors or Harrison are there, you kind of gotta take them. That would transform the whole team, especially if you could keep Barkley and if everyone stays healthy. That would transform that offense.
The problem is, Joey, is that right now the way our offensive line is, the quarterback has to get rid of the ball really fast.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah.
So to get anybody that's a deep threat, you're risking the fact that, thank you, I got a deep threat. You're not a threat because I can get to the quarterback faster than he can get downfield. Right? Think about it. What's the fastest 40 time you think a receiver could run?
4.2 something.
A 4.2, right?
4.21.
Okay.
Guy.
4.21. That's the fastest if that receiver runs it, right? And that's with no pads, and that's without anybody hitting you at the line. Yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 40 yards. Okay. So my point to you is that you got to protect the quarterback for at least 4 seconds.
No.
Which is a lifetime.
Which is a long time.
That's
2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. You're lucky if you get 2 seconds.
Well, that's my point. So you see what I'm saying? So that's where my concern is. It's like if we keep trying to address things that we can't actually execute on, it doesn't make any sense. I could be wrong. I'm just saying to you, all of a sudden that changes. The deep threat is no longer a viable source. That's why keeping Barkley is key, because we can throw the swing pattern to him. We can throw out pattern. We could do things with him. I mean, so I think some of the things that saved Tua is the way that the Dolphins used Tyreek Hill, right? They were throwing him those in-pat. Tyreek Hill just gets the ball 2 yards and he takes off.
There is a tackle, Joe Alt of Notre Dame, who is supposed to be going like top 5, top 6, top 7. So you want that tackle. If you think it's too soon, it's like, well, that's where one of them is going to go. Is like 5, 6, 7.
But the problem is he's a left tackle. It's going to be like Evan Neal all over again. All right, well, this is where coaching comes in. The line coach would go to where this kid goes to school, Notre Dame, his pro day. He would work him out as a right tackle to see if he can play right tackle or have the footwork down to play that position.
Last year, the Steelers drafted a left tackle, Broderick Jones from Georgia, and they played him on the right side the entire year. Now, they say eventually he is going to move to left, but he went on the right side and he did just fine. So I think somebody can move positions, either it's Thomas or Alt or whatever. They could go to the right side. You take Evan Neal, put him at left guard because you're losing Justin Pugh. Then you got most of your line. Then you just need to find a right guard, which is easy to find.
The problem is it just hasn't worked for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
For some reason, just
we're gonna
sounds
go.
Great on paper.
We go based on our history, and it hasn't worked for us. So we don't know if it's coaching. So look, mock draft, they got Marvin Harrison going 4. They got a receiver going to the Chargers, and they got a mock draft. Us picking a quarterback from Michigan, JJ McCarthy.
Yep, that's been the hot thing last week up here.
Oh my God! Either we don't know something about Daniel Jones or
You're
not.
not. No. No. No.
No,
No. You would get.
JJ McCarthy.
You would get so much. You would get almost as much dead cap money if you got rid of Daniel Jones right now as if when the Denver got rid of Russell Wilson. We're talking $69 million in dead cap if they got rid of him this year.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So you'd have to keep him for at least one more year.
Yeah, that's what the plan is.
Yeah, so then I don't know why we would want to get a quarterback. Then they have Joe Alt is the guy you were talking about from Notre Dame going number 7. So he's right there,
His
and that's
father
between
played for
6 and
Right
7.
there.
back in the day.
Yep.
He's right there, Byron, between 6 and 7. So why would we pick a quarterback, right? But maybe there's more to Daniel Jones. But it's a slight surprise that Giants pick eventually start over again at quarterback. He might well sit behind Daniel Jones in 2000. They're thinking getting him and have him sit. Maybe there's more to Daniel Jones' injuries than we know. I can't believe the Bears got rid of Justin Fields.
They're all going to get fired with the Giants. You can see it coming. If they pick a quarterback, people are not going to be patient. They're not going to be, because it's just the way it is up here.
I think
And they're gonna be-
Dable's
they're
on the
gonna-
hot
they're-
seats. I think the
it's
honeymoon's over for
scorching.
Dable. I think.
It's scorching hot.
Yeah. Very.
There's a few
Honeymoon's
linemen.
over.
Because how is it, like I said before, how is it that the Detroit Lions fixed everything in 3 years? The Giants are in the same time they came together. So the Giants are in their 3rd year or whatever. So now they're thinking about drafting a quarterback. So now you got to give that quarterback 2 years. So you're talking about 5 years down around, 5-6 years for any kind of results. They're going to get fired.
Look how fast Cincinnati turned around.
Because what did they do?
They got their
They had-
franchise quarterback. That's why.
Yeah. They had their guy and they had
No, they got a franchise quarterback and an elite receiver.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Those two pieces, Jamar Chase and Burrows, 1-2 punch from the same school.
And what has happened to Burrow every year? He gets hurt because of what? The offensive
Because
line.
of his line.
Constantly.
Remember
Yeah,
that
last
year they
forever.
took the wide receiver. It was either Penny Sewell or Jamar Chase, and they took the wide receiver. Yeah, look at it. Burrow gets hurt every year and they still have not fixed their line. Meanwhile, look at Detroit. They got that tackle, and their line is just fine.
And what is he? All pro every year now because he's been there.
Mm-hmm. So I want to bring something up before we wrap this up. We were talking when the Dolphins were going to the Chiefs. You remember that for the coldest day of the year? So apparently there's some people that a lot of people got frostbite in that game. In fact, some people got frostbite to the point that according to this news report, that they may oh shoot! Did I close it out? Well, no, I didn't close it out.
They might lose fingers and lose toes.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they may lose fingers and lose toes. But I didn't know that the NFL has a cold weather protocol. So they have an operations manual that the snow and ice removal plan must be scheduled in the game in cold or snowy weather, and shoot, I missed that. And that the seats need to be heated. They have to have heated seats 2 hours before the game starts. Right?
The spectators?
The stadium.
For everyone?
There's an NFL policy. I'm telling you. There's an NFL cold weather policy.
You sure they ain't for the players sitting on the bench?
I can see that for the
them?
players. Yeah, I can see that in the bench. I can't see that for 70,000 seats. That'd be ridiculous. That would be crazy. Let's say you just set them on fire.
You see all the people. Well, see that before. Eagle fans setting them stands on fire.
Well, that's no surprise.
I gotta find it, but they have a policy that they need to have heated seats. So I guess maybe that is for the players, but they're talking about frostbitten for the fans. And what Byron and I were talking before you came on the show, Joe, was that there had to be John Pauling, huge mistake if they take McCarthy. John Pauling, Welcome to the show, John. Yeah, I would agree if the Giants take their quarterback. I would think that the Kansas City had a weather advisory warning. So for you to go out to that game, I don't know how they would be able to sue or do anything. I didn't see anything about a lawsuit. I just saw that a lot of people got frostbite, and that some people got frostbite to the point that they were getting some of their fingers or toes amputated.
I would sue. Hey, what?
Yeah, but
That would be an interesting case to sue when you're
you have a
already
choice.
warned.
A choice to go or not to go.
They didn't put you in that position.
That's going to be a
Yeah,
problem right
but
there.
they could have said that the weather conditions are such that this is not a safe environment for everyone, so we're postponing or canceling the game. But they went through with the game, so that's on the NFL. Yeah. You made a choice to go there.
There's nothing
but
in the
you also-
policy that says they cancel the game. They got to change the game. So look at the stadium. Look at
Your
the
Honor, objection.
The stadium must have a snow and ice
Conjecture.
removal. Here, listen to this. According to the NFL's operations manual, the stadium must have a snow and ice removal plan before the scheduled game in cold or snowy weather. The manual goes on to say that if the weather dictates, heated benches must be available for both teams. So it is for the teams.
Yeah.
Activated 2 hours prior to kickoff.
I object. Leading the witness.
So they have here, the manual does not provide any guidance on whether to postpone the game in the dangerous cold weather or how fans should approach extreme weather temperatures. So there's nothing in their manual of how they should approach it. It's unclear if the NFL will review its cold weather policy after this season. I think they're going to have to review it.
But look at Buffalo when they had all that snow up in Buffalo. Hey, you want to make $20 an hour? Bring your shovel. Come shovel at the stadium. They had a whole caboodle of people up there shoveling out that stadium for $20 an hour or whatever it was. So, how bad could it be? Get to shoveling. I don't know about me, an 80,000 seat stadium.
Well,
that's a lot of snow.
I just thought it was interesting how they have a policy, but the policy is like missing a lot of things. They got to be prepared because, I'm sure that someone's going to try to sue, right? But
why not?
You're going to have to get a lot of people. And then I just think it's Kansas City. Kansas City fans have a hard time going against their team, right? So they'd be in the papers. People would be like, okay, you're suing, sell me your seats.
Right.
Exactly. All right, Joey, tell us about your show, how people can get a hold of you.
It's called The Donut Bag. It's Monday nights at 7. I talk Pittsburgh sports, mostly Steelers. Lots going on with the Steelers always. There's always something going on year round. So, yeah, lots going on, lots to talk about. Mondays at 7.
Mondays at 7. Okay, don't forget, and we'll have the link below, down below. Again, don't forget to subscribe to our your social media channels. If you like the show here, if you're watching live on YouTube, please smash the like button, leave a comment, leave a review, hit the notifications. You can hear us. We'll be talking next week about a few more things. There will be a lot more changes coming up. We have the draft coming up in April, and then we got daylight savings coming up. I think it's next Sunday.
Lose an hour.
You're losing a spring forward. I like it that way, though. I don't know about you guys. That extra hour of sleep, I don't feel
losing one this time.
Yeah, but I like it. I like it sunny later, longer. Especially where I live.
Are you finished rubbing it in?
I like having it. It's 8 something out here. It's like still sunshine. They know better. There's nothing better than that. But all right. Well, thank you for your show. Don't forget to join us next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. What time, Byron?
8 p.m.
8 p.m. All right, Joey. I appreciate you joining our show. Yeah, he does it all the time because we still have friends for going on our 5th year. We still have friends. Hey, when's your show? Like, you got to be kidding me, right? You say it, it's announced. We tell it, it's on our friggin' website. It's everything. So, all right, guys, I'm going to start putting this outro out. You guys have a great night. God bless. Oh, wait a second, Byron. I want to say prayers and blessings to the Jose De Leon family. Did you know Jose De Leon passed away?
Yeah.
Not Hebe, his older brother. A player
older brother.
got drafted out. A player that got drafted out of high school from our hometown. By the way, he got drafted by Pittsburgh Pirates. Jose De Leon played with the Pirates for a long time.
Oh yeah, he played with the Pirates in the 80s. Yeah.
He's from our hometown.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
Yeah, he passed away. They had cancer. He was only 63 years old.
Oh my God, I had no idea. That's terrible.
Let me tell you something. He was a big dude.
Well, he had a fastball. Woo-wee.
Oh, yeah, he was big.
Yeah.
Had a fastball. His forearms were massive. I went to see him with some friends with the Febbles family. And God bless Eddie Febbles, who passed away several years ago. We went to see Jose play when he was with the White Sox. And that was when he was there when Jordan was there. Right. So he gave us some nice stories about Jordan. Let me tell you, he had nothing but nice words to say about Jordan. He said Jordan didn't act like a prima donna, didn't do nothing, practiced hard. He goes, people could say whatever they want, but they don't see the behind the scenes. He goes, listen, I'm tired after practice, right? I go to practice. There's a line. Jordan is out there signing 45 minutes, signing autographs to go into practice, works hard, comes out after practice and signs autographs for another 45 minutes. He goes, Jose said, I was tired just watching him signing autographs.
Yeah.
And then that was the first time I saw Frank Thomas up close and live. That was one of the biggest men I've ever seen. How we were talking about like Steve Atwater. Steve Atwater was big and lean, but Frank Thomas's thighs, Byron,
he's
like
massive.
They were huge. Like when you watch him on
he was
TV,
a tight end in football.
Yeah, when you watch him on TV, he doesn't look right. He doesn't look that tall. He's a first baseman. You didn't think much. He was huge. That bat was like a toothpick in his hand. His thighs, no lie, were probably the size of my entire waist. I mean, he was just massive. But again, players to the De Leon family, Jose De Leon, my friends Hebe and Juan De Leon. I played baseball with both of those guys, and the rest of the De Leon family and his family. Prayers out to them. I was sad to see it. He was a genuine nice guy.
Yep.
I mean, he was.
I remember him as a because I was a Pirates fan in the 80s. He was a very good pitcher back then.
Yeah, he was humble, super nice, and and he's got a great family. So blessings to their family. God bless Jose De Leon, former Major League player who passed away recently. So God bless him and to his family. All right, gentlemen, you guys have a good night, and we will talk soon. Take care. God bless.
All right.